Hello and kia ora, thank you for joining us. I'm Philip Duncan with your Monday weather update and the outlook right through until Saturday. And we've got an interesting week coming up. New Zealand has its first wintry blast of 2022. And Australia's weather, well, you get a little bit of that southerly, but generally speaking, Aussie's weather is calming down this week after some very heavy rain from the last couple of weeks, although it's not perfectly settled, and the tropics has a little bit of low pressure. So let's take a look at the animated wind map. Now, we've got a westerly flow coming into New Zealand today at both ends of the country, but it's two different sources of airflow when you take a look at it. High pressure up to the north and low pressure down to the south. Both are producing a westerly wind, but this one up here with the blue shading indicates that there's more humidity in that airflow. So this is a much warmer subtropical flow coming down over the North Island after nearly having frosts a couple of nights ago. And in the South Island, colder air from the Southern Ocean, but drier air coming around and across as well. So both ends of the country have westerlies coming through, but they've got different origins. One subtropical, one is sub-Antarctic, and that's the reason why we've got different temperatures at each end of the country. And you can also see a bit of that southerly flow coming through to Adelaide. Brisbane's still got the more humid northerly airflow. So let's take a look at the forecast. Here we are for Tuesday, and it's not a lot different to where we are today. We've still got high pressure to the north, still got a mild subtropical west to northwest wind for the North Island, and patchy showers, a little bit of patchy rain in there, accumulation not very much. And then at the other end of the country, westerly winds, which will be mild for those of you in the east, but it is cooler. It's coming out of the Southern Ocean, so it's not as warm in the south as it is in the north, although in saying that, still many places warmer than average to begin this week. Now, as we get to the middle of the week, those showers in the north fall apart a lot further. The high to the north moves further away to the east, and we've got a low pressure system up here, basically on the Vanuatu side, more so than the Fiji side. And that southerly change, the big one that's coming to New Zealand, well, on Wednesday it arrives in Tasmania and Victoria, so you'll notice a temperature drop there and some windy weather coming through as a result of that. By Thursday, the North Island's got the cold front coming in, so we've got more showers or patchy rain. Again, the accumulation won't be huge. In the South Island, winds are going to get colder as the day goes on. That blue line indicates air thickness, or in other words, the colder, drier air coming through. So you will notice that later on Thursday, the temperature's really dropping in the lower South Island, but it's Friday that is the day where temperatures really do tumble. Daytime highs in Southland and Otago in some areas will only be around 4 or 5 degrees at the maximum. Places like Dunedin might only get to 6 or 7 degrees, and other areas like Invercargill and Gore around that same mark, 7, maybe 8 degrees. You might go a little higher if the sun comes out and you're sheltered. But look at this southerly flow. If you track the origins of it, all the way down to Antarctica. So this is a cold surge of weather, but westerly winds come in behind it fairly shortly. So it'll be cold on Friday and Saturday, but then it starts to warm up. So this is definitely a colder Friday coming through, and also those southerlies coming in around Sydney, but they're not as bad. If you track the origins, it actually is coming around from Adelaide and going around that high pressure zone like a roundabout. Whereas New Zealand, I mean, some of the isobars here are coming from just south of that high, but the further east you go, the more likely that airflow is coming out from down towards the Antarctic ice shelf. So this is a cold event on Friday. And just to sort of add to that, this is the animated wind map for Friday. I always talk about cold changes in New Zealand. For us to get a really big cold change in New Zealand, you need a high parked over Tasmania, and it's got to stretch north to south, not west to east. And so that's what we're seeing here, more of a northern one. It stretches all the way up to Cairns and all the way down to the southern islands down here. So this is definitely a big high pressure zone, air pressure over 1040 hectopascals as that rolls in. So this is Friday evening. You can see it's colder there. And the only other feature to the north, a small area of low pressure just up there in the tropics around Vanuatu and New Caledonia. Nothing major, but producing a bit of rain and localized wind. And then our final map for Saturday shows, I don't know if you can see it, but that low is up to the north there. But the main feature, clearly, this big southerly change over New Zealand. It drives back the easterlies and showers up here to the north. But all of you will notice a bit of a temperature drop this weekend. But really, New Zealand will be the main feature for that temperature drop. A cold Friday night, and a cold Saturday all on the way. And then that big, powerful high, which takes up much of the screen, will drift in our way as well. So that's the forecast. We'll be back again tomorrow with our next update.